Hi besties, what's up? I don't have anything in mind to talk about. That's a lie. Okay, so I did just look at my post-it notes in the other room before coming over here. I thought of an idea, which is I've had this idea before, and it's a joke idea. And it's important to me that everybody knows that, but it's in defense of Team Jacob. Because I thought it was funny that there was even like if you read the books, there's no tension, like there's no chance for Team Jacob. Like Bella does not have feelings for Jacob like that. They're hanging out a lot, sure, but Jacob likes her, but she's only like she's hanging out with him to fix the motorcycle so that she can see Edward again, because like he left, and like when she has these like near-death experiences, she like has these visions of Edward. So that's like initially why they start hanging out. And then like the bike thing doesn't work out. Well, it does. And then like immediately does she crash? Yeah, she crashes and like hits her head. And then it bleeds and he's like, oh my god, are you okay? And then she's like, yeah, head wounds just bleed more than other more than most, or whatever. Classic. Anyway, but there's, yeah, they go to the movies. She invites Mike and she invites Jake, and they're both trying to like hold her hand. Neither of them has a chance. She only has feelings for Edward. Edward only has feelings for Bella. He's like a 107-year-old virgin, like who's never just cared about any other women, and then suddenly he meets Bella and he's like, okay. He's demisexual, obviously. No, I'm just kidding. That's not what demisexual means. Anyway, I feel like demisexuals get kind of like a bad rap because they're like, everyone's like, who cares? You know, like not everyone obviously, but like there's a lot of people who are like, who cares? Like that just means you, like, I mean, that's just like normal. That's, you know what I mean? Like people are just like, that's everybody. Like, I don't know. Just cause, yeah, I don't know if I can explain it more. I don't like date that much anyway, so like it's not really like a thing that I think. I just like don't want to, you know? Anyway, moving on. I've just been stammering over this for a while. Okay, 2 more rows and then I got a color change. Right. Here we go. Oh, it's hot in here, but I didn't turn the fan on this time. Because I was like, it's not that hot when I started. And now I'm like, maybe I should have. Because I don't think it's that annoying, you know? I feel like there's a lot of times when I'm watching a video and there's like something going on in the background or something that like either I don't notice or like I'm like, okay, yeah, that's like normal. It's like their neighbor mowing the lawn or something, and it's like, yeah, that's fine, that's normal. It's far away. Like I can still hear what you're saying. Like it's not distracting me or anything. But then sometimes when they point it out, it's like, or like especially I saw a video, I think it was on TikTok or something, but I don't remember. There was like this lady, I don't remember anything about the video, but the caption was like, ignore the stain on my shirt, and I didn't notice the stain until I read the caption, and now that's the only part of the video that I remember. Just like the Streisand effect, which I've personally been referring to as the bald JD Vance effect, because there was like that one guy who like couldn't come, he was Norwegian or something, and he couldn't like come to America because the like TSA agent or whatever found a meme of JD Vance like photoshopped to be bald on his phone, and so like then a lot of people started sharing that meme, and like, yeah, spreading it, not just sharing it, but like memifying the meme. And I'd never seen that picture before, and I just think it's funny. And also, sorry, as a musical theater fan, I just think Barbara Streisand, yeah, like I don't think that she was like right to like yell at someone for, I don't know. The person shouldn't have been on their phone, you know what I mean? Like I don't think she did, yeah, I don't think she did anything wrong. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I think there's a lot of overreaction on both sides. Yeah, so just personally been saying the JD Vance effect, but it hasn't caught on. Made a blue sky post about it. Nobody even liked it. This is kind of like I'm having the same kind of experience on Blue Sky that I seem to have like on every social media platform like recently, which is like I would go on Instagram and make my own posts, and like most of them wouldn't get very much attention, and like they'd get likes for like maybe like my most popular post got like maybe 1,000 likes or something, but like then the likes stop after after like a few hours. Then like it hits its peak and then it just never goes up again. And then I'll comment on other people's posts, and then that comment will get likes for like months. I don't even think he wants to go outside. I keep getting up and opening the door. Meow! And then he just like doesn't go out, so he's probably gonna keep meowing though. Like I was talking about background noise, sometimes I do hear like a cat in a video and I'll be like, is that my cat? And then they don't acknowledge it, and so I'm like, is that does my cat need to go outside? But most of the time it's like I only notice it because they like something annoying like that, like the stain on the shirt or like the background noise, like because they pointed it out. Usually it's like not an issue for me. I don't know about other people. What was I gonna say? I was still talking about Team Jacob. Oh, the other thing that like so yeah, like I thought Team Jacob was just like ridiculous that there was even a debate about it, and so like I thought it was funny to I was at Hot Topic and they had a Team Jacob shirt and I'm like, that's ridiculous, like I'm gonna get it. And I wore it like ironically, I guess, because like I did like Twilight, but it was also kind of like getting older and stuff, like it was becoming like less cool to like it, I guess, like I was becoming too old for it maybe, is how I thought about it. But like yeah, I was I think I was in 9th grade, so like high school. Oh my gosh, what does he want? Anyway, so yeah, I just thought it was funny and ridiculous, and so I got the shirt and then I wore it. Like my Girl Scout trip went on a little trip to Girl Scout troop. I feel like I said trip. My Girl Scout troop went on a trip to San Francisco, and we flew there and we were at the airport and I was wearing that shirt, and one of the girls in my troop got like really close to my face. Just I don't remember the context, but she got like literally like this close to my face and was like, Bella and Edward are perfect together. I like, how dare you wear that shirt, and just like telling me off about like my Team Jacob shirt. I'm like, no, I know, like that's the joke, like but I didn't say that. I was just like, oh my god, like, and I don't think I wore that shirt again for a long time. Oh my gosh, let me just go see what that's about. Hold on. Okay, he did actually go outside, but I think it's because I waited so long that like he was, you know, like if I just went and opened the door right away, he would have just like looked outside and then been like, no, I'm just gonna smell the door frame and then rub my head against it and then come back inside and then meow for like 10 more minutes and make you keep doing that. But since I waited, anyway, that's what I'm gonna tell myself anyway. But yeah, it's like we leave the door open. Like I was getting really frustrated. Like I didn't even want the cats going outside in the first place. But like also I feel like we see stray cats outside like all the time, so it's like we're like, okay, because we moved from like Los Angeles, or like coyotes and stuff, but like other people, like there's stray cats outside, other people are letting their cats out, like it must be fine, so we're letting them out. And like the door, like we don't have a doggy door or anything, so like we have to get up and open it like every time, and then we decided to start leaving like the back door open, and we have like a screen out there, so like most of the bugs like can't come in and stuff. It works most of the time, although like sometimes the cats will bring it, like one of the cats just brought in like a cicada or something. I can like hear it flapping its wings, and it also like he jumped up on the table and like knocked off, like skidded the, like moved the tablecloth or whatever, and just like everything fell off. Like because he was like trying to play with it or whatever. So yeah, good stuff. Most of the time it's fine. Sometimes they like bring in things that I don't want in the house, but like also other times I'll see one of my cats running like with something in his mouth, and I'll be able to like go close the door and be like, you're not coming in with that. Drop it or you're staying outside. So I saved like a lizard's life like that, and probably another cicada in the last few days. Also, update, I never updated you, in my video called I Hate Spiders and Knitting, I was talking about having like 2 spiders in my bathtub, and I was like, they're just like stuck in there and they can't get out, and like, because I don't know if you've ever seen a bug like get stuck in a tub. They obviously like, they must go up the wall like regular and then like come down into the tub, and then they try to get out, but it's too steep, they can't like, and the porcelain or whatever material, like they can't get the grip on it, so they just get stuck in there, and it's like, it happens so much. And there were 2 spiders in there at the same time, and I was like, I really don't want to be the one to like have to kill them, and like I don't want to like just wash them down the drain or whatever. And then like I was going to the bathroom and my little cat jumped in there, and I was like, oh shit, and I know he saw the spiders and he started like playing with one, and I was like, no, come on, like let's not just like kill it or whatever, like I feel bad. But then so I pulled him out of the tub, and then he like just went back in there again, and I was like, you know what, I guess it's fine. Like if it were me, I guess if I were stuck in like some big like empty thing, like I would want to be put out of my misery with like no hope of escape. The other option was me getting like the bug cup and getting a piece of paper and like trapping it and like taking it outside, but I don't like doing that even with like bugs that I'm comfortable with. Like I just did it with a cicada, and it was still like I know that it's not gonna like hurt me, but like I don't like I don't want to do it. And then with a spider, it could like crawl it, like if I don't see, like notice that like, oh, I have the paper cupped here, but like on this side there's space, and it gets out, and then it like crawls in my hand, and then it bites me, and then I could like die. I don't know. What if it's venomous? I don't know. So like I just don't like spiders. But my cat saved me. Love that for me. And then there was the other one that was crawling on my wall while I was making the video, and it kept saying like it's getting closer. I think it like realized, oh, it was over here, like over here, when I was trying to go to bed, and then I saw it. I was like, I'm just gonna leave it, it's probably gonna go up in the corner and just like catch flies or whatever, I don't need to worry about it. And it started going towards like my ukulele, and I just like gently went over and like moved it, so that when I was like, are you trying to like go in the like ukulele hole or something? Like that's not gonna work for me. So I just like it was just about to get onto the little tuning peg, and I just like gingerly moved it. I wasn't trying to like scare it or anything, but like I was like, don't do that. And then I think it left my room, but then I was sweeping out in the living room, and there's like a big cat tower, and I was like getting the toys out from under it, and like I saw the spider like with all this stuff that I was sweeping, and then it like ran away. But like then it just kind of stayed in the middle of the floor, and so I was like, okay, like where are you gonna go? And so I kept having to like just try to like avoid killing it, and because we do have a lot of flies, and it's like, yeah, maybe I should just like let the spiders get them. Although I saw a post like that on Blue Sky today that was like something about like someone wanted to kill a spider, and then someone else was like, no, it's getting the flies or something. And then I was thinking like, I have cats, my cats will get both of them. But I don't know, I still don't think it's like up to me to decide whether the spider gets to live or die. So yeah, but my cat, I can live with like my cat killing it, because that's the circle of life. But if I do it, that's just me being cruel. I don't know. Yeah, if you read Swading Breatgrass, if you read Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer, you'll know. And if you haven't, then I'll tell you. But there's a chapter in there about like hunting. How there's this man who would like go out into the forest or whatever, like when it was time for like a tribal ceremony where they were supposed to eat like a deer, or I don't know all the details honestly, but like what I remember from it is like this man goes out to the forest, and he just sits there and meditates. He has a gun with one bullet in it, and he waits for the right, I don't remember, it might be like elk or something, I might be like, I don't know, saying the wrong animal, but yeah, read Braiding Sweetgrass and Swading Breatgrass. They're both really good. Anyway, just read the book, but the point is, he sits there and meditates and waits for like the right animal to approach him that's like ready. And that the idea is like this animal is willingly giving up its life, and it's choosing to do so for the like, I don't know if it cares that much about the ceremony, but it's like just giving the animals a little more agency than like trying to like wait and find one that's like not like paying attention and then killing it, like finding one that like presents itself to you. He said it would present its flank and like just not run away, and like it knew what was happening. And so like sometimes like I read that and I think about like sometimes like just to make myself feel better about like the cats killing like all these little lizards and like mice and whatever. I think about that and I'm like, maybe that was like the universe wanted to give the cat something to play with or something, and so it like became this bug or this lizard or this snake that the cats are bopping around and like probably just trying to play with for fun, but like accidentally killing. It's so sad for me to watch and to think about, but then I'm just like, okay, maybe it's like not that serious. Like maybe take a step back from like the human like perspective of it and think about like the universe, like everything happens for a reason. Which like, yeah. So okay, that's my that's my belief, I guess. Like, yeah, God is in everything, and like God is all of the people and the animals and like every tree and flower and like blade of grass and like even like air molecules and water and the four elements, fire, earth, all of it, which like earth would cover like, oh, and rocks. I think about rocks specifically like stalagmites and stalactites. Stalactites are from the top, right? So there's like water dripping from the top, and then stalagmites are the bottom. So the water drips from the top and it like deposits minerals along both, and so they both grow. So they're like using water to grow, which is kind of like the definition of like how we define organic life. Not really, like water is necessary for life, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's, I think like rocks are like alive and like maybe conscious in some way that like we don't necessarily understand, or like aware, you know? Like in Pocahontas when they say, like, I don't want to quote that movie because it's like not good, like accurate historical representation, and it's actually really problematic and harmful, but like the one line, just because like it's popular and like people know it, like, I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. I'm just like who am I to kill this bug that has a life? But like also, how do I know that it didn't like choose to, maybe it just loves my cat so much and thinks it's so cute playing with little creatures, and it just wanted to be like one of the creatures that it played with, just for it to be cute, you know? And I think like people say that like there, like some people believe that we know what's going to happen in our lives before we like incarnate into the physical plane, like we make all these agreements or whatever before, like, and I've seen people argue against that, and they're like, that would mean that like people who are abused as children agree to come here and be abused, and then it would also mean that the people who abuse children come here and agree beforehand that they're going to be abusive to children. And it's like, I saw a TikTok of somebody explaining that, and they're like, that's not something that I can get behind. And I'm like, okay, but I kind of like, I'm like, what kind of justifications, like, if that were true, like, why would somebody come here and like agree to do something horrible And then like this is kind of like a really trivial example, to be honest, of this, but like that's kind of like the only the way like that I gotta like work up to like a real like big example. Like, why would somebody like agree to join the IDF and like commit genocide against like Palestinians? Like, but like I had to start on this like lower like the only thing I can, so I'm gonna address that since I brought it up. The only thing I can imagine is like this is somehow necessary for like everyone to see how horrible like the effects of colonialism and like all this other stuff, like white supremacy and everything, like how horrible these effects are, and like the whole world needs to like see a live broadcast of a genocide basically to realize that, oh, this is actually bad and we need to like change things, and this is like somehow a necessary step to getting to like actual world peace and like liberation for all, freedom for all. So like maybe that's true. And then like the way I got there was like thinking about like Taylor Swift, like maybe like let's say reincarnation's true or whatever. So like I'm experiencing like this life as me, and like maybe there's an album that I love so much, and like one of the ones that came to mind was like Red by Taylor Swift. Like maybe I just love Red by Taylor Swift so much, and it like helped me through a breakup or whatever. And then so like in the next life I decide to come back and like be the person like that's about like Jake Gyllenhaal, right? Mostly, or at least like All Too Well, I think. Like I would agree to come back as Jake Gyllenhaal and like be this like kind of terrible figure from this one perspective of like, oh, he treated his girlfriend badly, he like lied to her about like seeing a future with her or whatever, but like that's something that like I wouldn't do. I think that's a bad thing to do, but like I might come back and do something like that because I know that it would like not at the time like consciously as Jake Gyllenhaal, but like I would know eventually, like on some higher level, like that I'm not aware of consciously, that like my actions would lead to the album Red, and that's like, even though that's like a bad thing to do, like, yeah. So that's kind of like, what if like you just love an album so much that you're like, I'm gonna be the person that breaks this person's heart and like creates so that they can go on to create this like other thing. So like, I don't know. Yeah, that's just like just my thoughts. I don't know if I've like heard, I'm sure I've gotten a lot of these things like from other places, but there's also times when like I'll have an idea and then I'll see somebody else talking about it and be like, oh my gosh, which is kind of like disheartening at first because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like the first person to ever have this idea, I'm so smart, I'm a genius, I'm gonna like blah blah blah, I'm gonna change the world with my, and then I'll see someone talking about it on TikTok later and I'm just like, oh, okay, I guess I'm not that like genius or whatever, but like I'm glad that other people are like thinking the same way as me, you know? So like in the end it's fine, it's good actually, but like at the in the moment it's just like, I thought it was special, but like, yeah, I had this idea, the idea about like everybody being God kind of thing. Like I think I was just like thinking about the wording of like we are all God's children, and like Jesus is the son of God, so like we're all like kind of Jesus, and like we're all, you know, like I don't know, I feel like the sun is very representative of I mean, there's a lot of videos about how like Jesus and the sun are like similar. There's one by Gemini Brett that I probably watched, but like, yeah, I remember having this thought that like a lot, like God is in everybody and like all the rocks and trees and creatures and stuff. And then obviously it's like not an original idea because like I like got some of it from that song, but like, yeah, just this idea that like everybody, like God is in everything. And then like I saw somebody talking about it on TikTok and they're like, it's not something that they just thought of either. It was something that they'd like believed probably for a while, and they're saying that they were at like a theme park or something, and they like one of the people, there's people standing around to like take your picture and stuff at the entrance, and sometimes they have like surveys and stuff. So they're like, someone came up to me to do a survey and they asked me about like my religious beliefs, and I was like, oh, I believe like everybody is God, like I'm God and you're God and blah blah blah. And then the person was like, oh, that's blasphemy. And so they're kind of having this like, not even just like the same idea as me, but like they're further along and like having this like other like more in-depth discussion about it, and like, is this blasphemy or is this not blasphemy? And then like you could say, like, I don't know, I just thought it was interesting because like from one perspective, saying that like what I believe, that like God is in everything, is blasphemy, because like there's only one God, and like that would be like having, like, believing in false gods or whatever. And then like from my perspective, saying that there's only one God and that like that's like anything else is a false god is kind of blasphemous, because like then you're denying the divinity and everything. And so it's like who gets to define like what blasphemy even means, you know? Like what is blasphemous and what isn't. Yeah, that's just like what I was thinking about after Twilight. Okay, my last point about Twilight, and in defense of Team Jacob, this is gonna be a crazy video, is obviously if Bella picked Jacob, then he wouldn't have imprinted on a baby. That's like everybody's big thing about Twilight, is, oh, Jacob imprints on a baby, even though it's explained in the books, it's not romantic. It's like, the way she explains the imprinting, in case, and if you don't know, it's like, it's not a romantic thing. So like you can imprint on somebody who's like younger, even if like Jacob's like an older like teenager and then she's a baby, but like it's not romantic. He just will do he'll be anything that she needs. That's what imprinting is like the desire to be, or like the need kind of to like be whatever this person needs for you. And so like if she doesn't need a romantic partner, he doesn't feel romantically towards her. He'll be like the best babysitter, the best like Uncle Jake. Like he'll always be there for her, but like it's not romantic. And then everyone's like, which like I'm not saying that's like a good defense or anything. Like I think it's, yeah, there's a video, I mentioned it before, I hadn't watched the video at that point, but I was just saying like the public opinion on Twilight has changed a lot. Like it was really popular, and then it was like, oh, it's actually really problematic, Edward's like abusive and he gaslights her and stuff, and it's like not a good role model for young girls. And then like a lot of people like kind of stopped like talking about it for a long time, and then it like kind of made a resurgence where like people were like, I don't know why, it was just like maybe nostalgia or something, but like everybody kind of just like went back to talking about it again. And then yeah, like ContraPoints had a video about it that was really good. And then I did see like just the title and thumbnail, like Twilight has a white supremacy problem. And I was like, yeah, that's something I've also had the idea of, like just on my own. Like I think I was maybe watching the movies or something, and I was like, isn't it kind of weird that like there's like the white vampires and like the people of color, like the indigenous, and they're like fighting all the time, and then Bella chooses like the white guy. Like is that kind of like white supremacist? I don't know. And so like I saw that like title and I was like, yeah, I kind of get that. And then I didn't watch the video, so I was like, I don't know, I kind of like already came to that conclusion on my own. And then I was like, I don't need to watch it, you know? But then I started watching Witch and Monk, which is, if you watch Elliot Sang, I watch Elliot Sang's like video essays, and then he started another podcast with somebody else, Witch and Monk, and then in one of their videos, they don't link to their like other channels in that one, so like in one of the videos the girl talks about, I can't remember her name now, it's like Earth by, no, okay, I'll link her in the comments though, or in the description. Anyway, but yeah, she was talking about a video that she made about the Hunger Games, and I was like, oh, that sounds interesting, like I'll go watch that. But like I couldn't figure out like what her channel was, or like what her video, like I couldn't find her video, so I like made a comment, and then I was like, hi, who are you? I can't find your video. Someone else answered and told me who she was, and then I looked at her channel and it was like, oh, she was the one who did the like Twilight has a white supremacy problem video. And I was like, oh, okay. So like I did end up watching it, and there were a lot of things that I hadn't considered, that like I was like, okay, yeah, I'm glad that I watched it in the end. So I'll probably like link that specific video and maybe the Hunger Games one too. Anyway, but yeah, so Twilight does have a white supremacy problem, I think. So like I don't know, I don't want to like, make this video, like, I was like, maybe I could do like an actual like video essay kind of style about it, but like it'd be kind of joking, because I still like, I want to make video essays kind of, but like I also don't really like know how, and I don't think I'd be good at it, so I'd want to try with something kind of like more silly like that, like less, something without like really high stakes. That would be like, oh, you actually did something like really problematic in this, like, I don't know. So like I would just want to do something like jokey and like figure out how to do a video essay and see like what kind of, like, if people have critiques and like, oh, you should have used more like, quotes or whatever, like, I don't know. So I could like learn how to do it, but like I also don't want to like, now I'm like, it's actually really problematic, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to like take it too seriously either. Life. Also, like, I want to use this channel for like talking about writing, which I've said before, because I have a bunch of stories that I have that I'm working on, but not like super consistently, so I don't have anything like that's near done. But I also like, there's a lot of like questions for me, like, not to be like my life is so hard as a white person, but like I do have a lot of questions about like the right way to like deal with representation. Like, obviously, like, I'm a white person and one of my stories takes place in Los Angeles, and I'm like, I don't want to just pretend like everybody in LA is white and like have all the characters be white. So I'm like, okay, like, what, but do I want to make the main character white and then like have everybody else be not white because like I'm white and I don't want to like tell the story of like non-white people, and like I don't want to like be their voice or something or try to speak over them, you know? And then like I feel like that would have kind of a similar problem to Twilight, where people say like, oh, Bella's like the most boring character in Twilight, like she's just like the most boring character surrounded by all these like more interesting people, and like we get her perspective. And so it's like, I don't know, like I wouldn't want to just be like, yeah, like the main character is white but everyone else isn't, so it's fine. But like, yeah, I'm just like having some trouble. And then also like with other characters, do I just want to say like a general blank statement like they're not white, or like put an author's note at the beginning and say like, hey, the story takes place in Los Angeles, maybe use your imagination and imagine that the characters aren't white, without really like having to specify like, oh, this one's Mexican, this one's like, I don't know, this one's from South Africa, this one's from whatever else, I don't know. Like, I'm not just gonna like list countries but like I know more. Surprising, because I went to school in America. We didn't learn geography very well, or at all, really. I remember having one class about like the geography of the United States, like we were supposed to learn all the states. We didn't do that. Like, I remember like the teacher had they had a projector and like an empty map of the United States with all the like state outlines, and they like had the students come up and like fill some in. And like we got like 10, and kind of just the whole class was like, yeah, we don't really we're not confident enough to go up to the front of the class and fill in more than that. It was sad. But and then I think I was in 7th grade, my teacher told us like at the beginning of the year, and this happened a couple times, where like they told us like their big plan, and then like it never happened. But for this class, it was like, we're gonna learn the latitudinal and longitudinal coordinates of every country. I'm gonna be able to say random, like, just numbers, throwing them out at you, and you're gonna know. You're not even gonna have to think about it. You're gonna be so confident. Like, I've done this in every class can do it. Like, you probably think you can't now, but like, don't lose confidence, you know? And then nothing came of that. We never did any, not even one time, looking at coordinates or anything. Like, I have no idea. Just like, it was like so important to him in every other class, and then it just like completely slipped. Like, I don't know if the classes after us had to do it, or like, yeah, so we were supposed to, and then we just didn't. And like another class, like when I was a freshman in high school, my counselor was like the worst. The whole time I was in high school, my counselor was the worst. But when I was a freshman, my counselor put me in a, like, she put me in a literary magazine class. I think when we were in middle school, we filled out like some like thing that was supposed to say like what electives we were interested in, and then they like sent it to our counselors at the high school so that they could like figure out our class schedules and stuff. And I remember putting like ceramics or something, and I was really excited to do like ceramics. I don't know why I keep saying like, it was ceramics. And then they put me in literary magazine, and I was like, I don't want to be in this class. I should go talk to her and see if I can drop out and like switch to ceramics. But like the first day of class, the teacher was like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Like we barely had enough people to like even have this class. Like if one of you drops it, we're gonna have to just cancel the whole thing. So I was like, oh my God, like like everyone else was so excited to be in the class. And I was like, I can't be the one to drop it and like let down all of these people. And it was fine because like we never ended up doing the literary magazine at all, and we were supposed to do this like video project that like we did end up going out and like filming, but we never got to the editing part. And yeah, the literary magazine never happened. Basically this class, she would go, like she was an English teacher for her other classes, and this was just like one elective period, so like she would write one like a prompt on the board for like write a short story, and then like nobody would do it. Like everybody would just sit there and talk. And I wasn't very social. I would not talk in this class, so I would basically be like the only one sitting there and like writing. But ironically, because I wasn't even like, I didn't even want to take that class. But yeah, like I was a freshman and most of the kids were like older, and I just like didn't feel very like comfortable talking very much in it. So like yeah, it was just like not, but it wasn't like terrible because we didn't really have to do any work. But like yeah, I realized at one point like she's not even grading this stuff. Like she only graded the work that you turned in. So if you didn't grade something, she just didn't grade it, didn't affect your grade. So we had this big like archetype project where we were supposed to get this big like I forget what they call it, but it's like the big paper that they use in like ASB and stuff to make signs or whatever. We got some of that paper, and we were supposed to lay down and like somebody outlined us like our body, and then we were supposed to take that and like draw an archetype of a character on it, and like put notes on the side and stuff. And I was like, I don't even know what an archetype is. That was like the first time I'd been exposed to that word. And like I didn't have room at my house to like lay it out on the floor. Like I had carpet in my room, so it like probably wouldn't have worked anyway, but like my room was pretty messy. My house was very chaotic. My parents are both alcoholics. My brother's a drug addict. Like I don't have the time or the like space or really the materials needed to complete this project. So I just didn't do it, and it didn't matter. And it was like totally fine. So I guess like in retrospect it's fine that like they put me in the class I didn't want to be in, and then I like couldn't drop it because everyone else was excited about it, and then nobody else like even took it seriously. But like yeah, it ended up working out because I got a good grades. Yeah, so good stuff. I think that's where I'm gonna end this video because I feel like I've just actually I do remember talking yesterday about something and then not wrapping it up. So okay, I was trying to think of a like Blue Sky post I think I saw, and I couldn't think of it, but I thought of the other one about Neil Gaiman. So I was like, okay, let's talk about that. But I remembered it later, obviously. So there was a post about like men being attracted, like see, I can't remember it now, but like I remember the concept. It was like men being attracted to hairy women. Like men are like, basically women are expected to shave and stuff, which I've talked about a lot on here because I don't like to shave. Just like, but I also don't like to walk around like that because I get like stares and like judgmental looks and stuff, and like it's not really a big deal. Like I don't get caught, like no one said anything about it, but it's still like I don't like it. But like maybe I just need to toughen up. But yeah, I'll go around in like pants that cut off like here, and then so you can see this. But I wouldn't go around in like shorts or a skirt or something, just because I'm like, I just don't want to deal with like, I feel like I would get comments if I exposed more skin. because like up here it's like paler and the hair is like darker. So like, I don't know, just like not good, not a good vibe. Not that it's like, I mean it's natural, but it's not considered part of the beauty standards of our culture. So anyway, yeah, it was just about the idea of like women shaving for men, because like men, and there was a comment on it that was like, that because if women are hairy and then men are attracted to women, then they have to deal with like being attracted to a hairy person, which they've been socialized against, which is like, okay, I could see that, because like, yeah, homophobia obviously is like very rampant in our culture. Like men who aren't like overtly masculine are often like stereotyped or like asked if they're gay, like, oh, you don't have a girlfriend yet, like what are you, gay? You haven't had sex by the time you're 15, what are you, gay, you know? So like men are expected to like live up to this certain like masculinity and masculine ideals, these certain masculine ideals, and being attracted to other men is not part of it, and other men are hairy and gross, and so like that's why women have to shave. And it's like, it's not like that like new, I guess, because it's kind of like similar to the like reasons that I've talked about before, where like in ancient Rome or Greece, I think, I always get those mixed up because they seem so similar, but obviously there's a difference. I should learn more history, but since I obviously didn't get a good history education. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I think I've talked about before how like in one of those cultures, I think like in Greece, the men were like, there was a lot more like young men and like older men in like sexual relationships, like mentorships and stuff, and then and like men in wars and stuff. Like this would, I think the first one would be more Greece, and then this would be more Rome, but like men, like soldiers going to war and stuff, would be encouraged to be intimate because it like solidifies their bond like on the battlefield if you're fighting. This is how the same history teacher explained it to us. He was like, if you're fighting on the battlefield next to just like some guy that you don't really know, you're not gonna fight as hard for like, if that's your lover, then you're gonna like really go like want to really defend them and like fight for them. So like so men were encouraged to be intimate with other men, and like young men who like hadn't grown hair yet, and so then when they were older and like married off to women, the women were encouraged to shave because the men would be like more used to a hairless, like, and it's like, I don't know, it's, yeah, it's pedophilic, it's just like, it's racist, because like a lot of white people would shave to distinguish themselves from the more animalistic like women of color who like their skin's darker and they don't shave. And so like for me, like a white person, like my skin's pretty, or my hair is pretty dark against my skin, and so like shaving, like I look way paler. It's hard to believe, but like I think you could see like before and after pictures like online, like before, like I saw one of a man who's like just shaving to, because he was curious about like what women have to deal with, and it was just like, yeah, like his like looked normal before, and then like just so pale without the hair. So it's like kind of like white supremacist. And then like war, like in World War II, the men went off to fight wars, and like the razor companies started advertising to women with like pictures of women without hair on their arms, so that women would be encouraged by razors. So it's like capitalist, racist, sexist, homophobic, just unnatural. Like I just sick of it. And like the whole thing comes down to like men's inability to like their desire to fit this masculine, like these masculine ideals, which are like created by other men, and then they have the nerve to like go and blame like, oh, like anytime anyone talks about patriarchy, it's like, oh, men are hurt by patriarchy too, and it's like, well, you guys are the ones upholding it, like just stop. Anyway, yeah, that's my solution to patriarchy, just stop. Just stop. Everything's gonna change once men just stop. There is that one like baboon, was it baboons? There was like some kind of like monkey thing, animal, some kind of animal where like all the males started, I'd heard this story before, and then there was like one detail that I didn't know, that I read like recently, and it was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy, that makes a lot of sense. So like I'm sure a lot of people, if you've been online as long as I have, you've probably seen this like case where there are these like monkeys or something, I don't remember. I'm not great with animals either, animal species in history. Like I saw a groundhog in the backyard and I was like, oh my god, is that a beaver? And I took a video and sent it to my dad and I was like, oh my god, who is this? Thinking, and then a bunch of people were like, I guess he showed it to other people and they're like, oh, that's a groundhog. And I was like, oh, I didn't mean that. I was like, hey, look, a friend, or, you know? And it's like, oh, okay, I guess I don't know what a groundhog or a beaver look like. Anyway, why did I bring that up? Yeah, so there's like monkeys or something, some species of animal that had like all the males die out in a generation, like the adult males. So there's still like young, like baby boys growing up. The adult women were fine and the young girls. Which the detail I didn't know was like the adult males died because they were eating like garbage as like a status symbol, and they were like fighting over the garbage and who got to eat the most garbage, and so then they all died. And then like the violence just like completely is like eradicated in just one generation of men dying. I don't know why I just brought that up. Anyway, free Palestine, free Congo, free Sudan, free all oppressed beings everywhere. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.